Hailey cherished her solitude. Her small apartment, nestled in a quiet corner of the city, was her sanctuary. The silence was comforting, a familiar embrace. Days were spent reading, writing, and enjoying the simplicity of her own company. The outside world, with its chaos and noise, felt distant. Hailey preferred it that way. She had created a haven of peace, and she wouldn't trade it for anything, or so she thought. Hailey hesitated for a moment, then cautiously opened the window. The cat slunk in, a graceful shadow against the storm's fury. It circled her legs, purring softly. The cat was beautiful, its black fur shimmering like polished obsidian. "Well, hello there, little one," Hailey murmured, stroking its head. The cat rubbed against her hand, its purr growing louder. She couldn't resist its charm. Hailey decided to call it Moon, a fitting name for the creature that had arrived with the storm. Moon quickly settled into Hailey's life. It followed her around the apartment, its emerald eyes always watching. At first, Hailey found Moon's constant presence comforting. It was like having a silent companion, a furry shadow that eased her loneliness. But as days turned into weeks, a subtle unease began to worm its way into Hailey's heart. Strange things began to happen around the apartment. Objects would move on their own, books toppling from shelves and dishes clattering in the sink. Hailey would wake in the dead of night to the sound of whispers, hushed voices that seemed to slither from the walls themselves. She tried to rationalize the events. Perhaps she was just tired, stressed, but deep down a chill ran down her spine each time she heard a creak or saw something move out of the corner of her eye. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. One evening, while Hailey was preparing dinner, she felt a cold breath on her neck. She spun around, her heart pounding in her chest. The apartment was empty. Moon was nowhere to be seen. But the air hung heavy with an unseen presence, a palpable sense of dread that sent shivers down her spine. Section 4. Unexplained marks and growing fear. The next morning, Hailey woke up with strange scratches on her arms. They were thin and red, like the marks of tiny claws. She couldn't recall scratching herself in her sleep. Fear, cold and sharp, began to take root in her mind. She tried to convince herself it was nothing, just a bad dream, but the evidence was right there on her skin. The whispers grew louder, more insistent. They seemed to emanate from Moon, a low, guttural growl that sent shivers down Hailey's spine. The once comforting presence of the cat now filled her with dread. She felt watched, hunted, even within the supposed safety of her own home. One evening, as Hailey sat reading, a vase toppled off the shelf, shattering into 1,000 pieces at her feet. She gasped, her heart racing. Moon sat calmly amidst the wreckage, its green eyes glowing with an unnatural intensity. That's when Hailey knew. Moon wasn't just a cat, it was something far more sinister. Section 5. Moon's chilling reflection. Hailey's unease morphed into full-blown terror one night as she was making tea. The kettle whistled, steam billowing from its spout. As Hailey leaned over to pour the boiling water, she caught a glimpse of something in the kettle's reflection. It wasn't her own. Staring back at her was a grotesque, demonic face, its eyes burning with malevolent glee, the face of something truly evil. And then, just as quickly as it appeared, it was gone. Hailey stumbled back, dropping the kettle with a shriek. She stared at Moon, its black fur seeming to absorb the light in the room. The cat's eyes, usually a vibrant emerald, were now just slits of pure darkness. The purring, once comforting, now sounded like a guttural growl. Hailey knew with chilling certainty that whatever was in her apartment had arrived with the cat. Section 6. Unmasking the shadows. Driven by fear and desperation, Hailey delved into the history of her apartment building. She scoured old newspapers and city archives, searching for any clue that could explain the horrors she was experiencing. Finally, she found it. A chilling tale of a witch who had once lived in her very apartment, a woman who had been accused of summoning dark forces. The witch, named Lilith, had been burned at the stake centuries ago, but legend had it that her familiar, a black cat with glowing green eyes, had escaped the flames. The story claimed that Lilith's spirit remained tethered to the cat, forever seeking revenge on the world that had condemned her. Hailey realized with a shudder that the cat in the story, the witch's familiar, was Moon. The strange occurrences, the whispers, the scratches, it all made sense now. She had unwittingly invited a creature of darkness into her home, and now it was up to her to get rid of it.